the game of the year, and it is between the Kansas City Chiefs, your boys, Scotty, and the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy and company. Hell of a roster on that side. So you got basically what we're looking at here is probably the best roster versus the best quarterback. And right now, there's a little bit of a back and forth with this spread that's been opening up. It opened up at 2.5, I believe, Scotty, when we first saw it. And we were alive when this happened. Opened up at 2.5 in favor of the 49ers.
Nah. Yep.
And within probably, I don't know, a minute and a half, that thing went from 2.5 to 2 to 1.5, down to 1, back up to 1.5. And now it's kind of settled in at 2 and 2.5 in some spots, Scotty. 2.5, I think, is where I saw earlier on, like yesterday. Let me go ahead. I'll pull up the lines right now just to see if anything's changed. Because as we get through the week, as we get more of these features, things will probably shift. And it wouldn't shock me if this somehow creeps even more towards 3. And I would just shoot my shot on Kansas City +3 all day, every day. Because that number is ridiculous. Anyways, we're going to get into our best bets here in a minute. But, Scotty, this one has been all over the map. A lot of people have different opinions on this one. We have Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in this matchup, going up against Brock Purdy, who definitely is a surprise to see in this particular game. I have stats on stats on stats when it comes to betting, when it comes to some of the areas of this game that are interesting. I mean, Brock Purdy is just a story in itself, right? Taking up only 0.37% of the cap. He's still on his rookie deal. By the way, Scotty, do you know the winning a quarterback who's won a Super Bowl on their rookie contract? There's 7 of them, or 6 others, I should say.
Well,
or 6 total. Mahomes is 1. Brady's 1.
Rookie contracts. Now I gotta Russ.
That's 3.
Okay. Probably not either Manning. Definitely not Peyton. Not Peyton, but definitely not Peyton. But I don't think Eli either. Cam made the Super Bowl, not won the Super Bowl. Eli made it. Eli's won.
Eli is 1.
Because I knew Peyton wasn't.
Yeah, Eli's 1. So you got Russell, Mahomes, Eli, Brady, 2 more.
I thought you said there were 7.
So there's 6 total. Sorry,
6.
Well, Purdy would be 7 if he won this game.
So 6. Let me. Well, Aikman would have been on his rookie deal.
Nope.
What? He won his in year 2 or 3. I don't know how rookie deals worked back then. But
maybe it was different with rookie deals back then. Maybe that there's it's different.
Or is this since 2000 or something?
Are
these all recent guys? Are they all recent guys?
One of them's a pretty big name that's been.
Noel. Did Ben?
Big Ben.
Okay.
So that's 5.
Okay.
The last one, I don't know if you'll get. Well, you might.
Probably somebody shitty then. Dilfer wouldn't have been that. Flacco wasn't still in his rookie deal, right? Is it post 2000 though? Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah.
Okay. Damn it! I want to use my brain right now, and it's really difficult to do.
You want a hint?
Not yet, but maybe in a second. Giants. Oh no! It's not Foles, is it?
You're getting warmer.
Getting warmer with Foles. So someone that's kind of trash.
getting warmer, and then they could have maybe the team in common as well.
Philly? What? That doesn't make any sense. Post 2000, that one with Philly?
Well, just they played for Philly.
Oh, at one point in their career? McNabb wasn't on his rookie deal. Who played for Philly that I'm drawing a blank on right now?
And played for, I'll give you one more hint.
Yeah, go ahead.
Colts as well.
No. Well, but Wentz didn't play in the Super Bowl.
Well,
are you saying Wentz?
Carson Wentz. He was on his rookie contract.
Yeah, but he wasn't the Super Bowl winner. That doesn't count.
So technically he did. So either way, there's 6 players who have won a Super Bowl and been on their rookie deal for the team that they won with. Wilson, Brady, Big Ben, Patrick Mahomes, Eli, and Carson Wentz. So that being said, Purdy could add to that list. You don't think he will, Scotty? You got your boys, obviously, but that's just one aspect of this matchup of a kid who was drafted absolutely dead last, and he's in a position here to win. But I'm going to let you go first. I'm going to let you tackle what you see in this matchup, where you're at with we got some interesting lines here, interesting strengths and weaknesses for both teams. I'll let you jump in on this one, and then we'll break down some of the numbers here in a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm not going to dive, honestly, deep into numbers. And maybe you will, and that's great. Chris, part of this is a feeling. Part of this is just like watching the games. Listen, the 49ers were clearly the better football team in the regular season this year. The Chiefs had a tumultuous season, up and down, inconsistent, very inconsistent offensively at times. And their low point occurred on Christmas Day against the Raiders in a game they lost, and that offense was embarrassing that day. But I am lost by this line, Chris. I think this line is at least 4 points wrong. Minimum.
4?
Yeah. That big. Which gives me concern, because I'm like, Vegas doesn't miss that much, but I think the Super Bowl is a different animal, and like you get a lot more casuals, public, just random people that like don't usually bet on games, or like, I'm gonna bet on the Super Bowl. And when a lot of casuals, what they're gonna bet is with their heart rather than their mind, right? Like, the Chiefs are the new evil empire. They're the new Patriots. They're the team that's won a lot recently, and now everyone hates them because, and I'm not blaming people. I would be the same way, but that's the reality. They're the most hated team in the NFL now. And I kind of enjoy it, to be honest, Chris. But let's look at this. Like, let's start with defense. I know there's some big names on the Niners defense, and I know these two teams were close as far as points given up. I think the Chiefs gave up they were the number 2 defense in points per game, and I think San Fran was right behind them. But if you look at the quarterbacks both teams played this year, it's not particularly close. That the Chiefs defense faced a tougher schedule. A lot of names on the Niners defense between Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Hargraves in the middle, Eric Armstead has been a beast. Various Ward in the secondary got a second team All-Pro at corner. Dre Greenlaw's been a stud at linebacker for him. Like a lot of good name players, and a lot of players that are pretty damn good at what they do. But for whatever reason, and we've kind of seen in the postseason, the sum doesn't meet the parts. And for whatever reason, it doesn't fit. And I think it comes down to the secondary, Chris. I think, for me, the biggest mismatch, and check out my articles on ActionLabSports.com. Today I covered offense position groups on each side. Tomorrow will be defense, and I'm giving a little bit of a spoiler here, but like to me, the biggest mismatch on paper is the Chiefs secondary versus the Niners secondary. The Niners secondary,
it's not in a good spot.
is not good. It's just not good. The front seven for the Niners, very talented, very good. But if they don't get home to the quarterback pretty quickly, and if they don't stop the run game, that secondary is very beatable, very susceptible. Like the Niners, Charvarius Ward he started his career with the Chiefs, so I'm pretty familiar with him, Chris. He'd be the third best corner on the Chiefs right now. And quite frankly, if we're ranking the top 5 corners in this game, I think 4 are on the Chiefs. Like the Niners are very susceptible in the secondary. They lost their elite safety towards the late November to an injury, and he's been out since. So like that secondary is the biggest hang up for me as far like Mahomes. What's great about Mahomes when he started his career was like a gunslinger, and he was like, I'll take advantage. I'll make plays that you've never seen before and you don't understand that I can make.
Can anyone stop Brock?
My man.
and medic, I'm just reading what you're saying. Mahomes is the check down king too, if you look at the numbers. What's great about Mahomes now is he will do whatever it takes to win. So if that means he has to check down, he will do it. Mahomes has been remarkable through these playoffs. He doesn't have one turnover worthy throw, despite playing Buffalo and Baltimore in 2 of the 3 games, who were tied for first and third in turnovers all season. Mahomes is smart with the ball. He gets it to his guys. He takes what's there. If they're going to play tight coverage, he'll throw over the top. Like, he's not afraid to throw over the top. We've seen that through his career. Like, it's just so in my mind, it comes down to this, Chris. Put simply, you have, in my mind, a Chiefs defense that I think is definitely better than the Niners defense. I just think it is.
I think, what do they rank? They're one of, I think they're like 2 and 3 defensively
in points per game.
Yeah.
But this postseason, the Chiefs are giving up like 13.5 points per game against Miami, Buffalo, and
3
Baltimore.
Really good offenses.
And I believe the Niners in 2 games are averaging roughly like 24, 25 points against Detroit and Green Bay. So the Chiefs have been playing better defensive football in the playoffs. And then we don't even bring up the guys on screen. Mahomes versus Purdy. Listen, Purdy's had a nice year, and I love the Purdy story. Mr. Irrelevant. Now he's a starting quarterback on a Super Bowl team, and he's played well. The numbers all equate to like he's had good numbers. But sometimes again, he hasn't faced a lot of great defenses there, Chris. This season, only 4 games all year against top 10 defenses. And he's gone 2-2 in those and played 2 really, really bad games in those against Baltimore and Cleveland. So I don't know. I don't understand the line, and it's terrifying to me, Chris, because I think KC should be favored. I understood San Fran being started as the favorite, but I thought it would move. So the fact that it hasn't moved is me just thinking like, there's just a lot of public casual money on the Niners because they hate watching the Chiefs win again.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of things that I feel in this match where there's some give and take. I feel like there's some advantages for the San Francisco 49ers. I think Debo's going to be an X factor for San Francisco if they have him in the slot. I think the Kansas City Chiefs kind of struggle with some of those slot kind of coverages and things along those lines, especially with a guy as dynamic as Debo. But I think like if we're looking at this from a 1,000-foot view, the Chiefs right now are playing better football than the 49ers. Let's be real, right? The Chiefs are in their 4th Super Bowl in the last 5 years. They got here by winning 2 straight road games against as underdogs. And they've, by the way, covered 5 straight leading into this Super Bowl, by the way. No big deal. The other side, if you're looking at the 49ers team, they have they're the second team to make the Super Bowl, losing three in a row against the spread on that journey. So the momentum, I just feel, for me, the way they struggled a little bit, having to dig themselves out of holes in the last couple weeks, I just feel like they won a lot of regular season games. They peaked in the regular season, and now the team that's has the best quarterback is the one that's really starting to rise to the top, right? The Chiefs have been playing their best ball recently. The drops have kind of taken a little bit of a back seat. They've been kind of more consistent, especially Rashee Rice, and Kelsey's been, better as well, as far as shaking some of the rust off of some of those games. But, overall, it just feels like the Chiefs have that swagger and have that momentum, so to speak. I don't put too much momentum into like this because it's 2 weeks off and both teams have. So I take away a little bit of that. You get more momentum when you get into the swing of the game itself. But I just really like the way the Chiefs are playing. Think about this. And this is something that is not in the stats. It's not something that's anywhere. It's just the aura that this Chiefs team has, that they can come in and get a Baltimore team completely off their game plan, in their head, abandon the run, which is their strength, because of who's on the other sideline, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And they've just...
Sorry, keep going. I'll be back.
They've just taken those it's not even just a attribute thing. It's more of a, we've seen this team make these comebacks. So your lead is never safe. We've seen Patrick Mahomes do things. So in the back of your head, you're thinking to yourself, like, this game will never be a safe bet unless you're getting to a point where you're up massive amount of points in the fourth quarter and it's almost a guarantee. But even then, it's like, we've seen crazy things happen with Patrick Mahomes teams. So there's always that mind game that you go into the Chiefs where you're never safe. And it throws people off, right? It throws teams off their game plan. And it's just crazy to me to think that, we have a scenario, we have a roster that's really, really solid. And we also have a quarterback who's the best in the league. And you're kind of having these kind of go head to head. The defenses are going to be a big aspect of this. Both teams have really decent defenses. I think the safeties are a concern for the 49ers. They've been giving us some big plays up the middle of the secondary a ton. I think the slot for the Chiefs is a disadvantage with Debo running in and out of that. So there's some interesting little chess moves that each team is probably going to make. But, I mean, when it comes down to it, it's just hard not to take a guy who's been there in 4 of the last 5 years, knows how to win, knows the pressures. Andy Reid knows how to get this team ready. Not to take away from San Francisco. I think they can still come in. They're very, very talented, but it's just really hard to go against what the Chiefs bring, and they're playing their best football right now. Let's see. I was a bit thrown off seeing you guys last night. Good to see you boys. Thank you, STG. Yeah, we moved our Wednesday show to Thursday because I was coming in from Boston. I was on a work trip, so couldn't stream last night. So we're doing our Super Bowl preview tonight. What's up, Sniper? How we doing? I think CMC had a real chance at MVP. He should have won DPO, Defensive Player of the Year, and someone should have gotten Offensive Player of the Year. Should have won MVP. Someone else should have won. Okay, got it. Welcome in, Sniper. Good to have you, by the way. So, anyways, yeah, I think there's that psychological factor that comes in, knowing that a team, regardless of how good they are, regardless of everything, you can take the other team off their game plan just by the fact that Mahomes will always be able to bring you back. There's always that chance, and your lead's never safe. And I think that takes people out of their game plan. Maybe they try to, go for it on 4th down when they probably shouldn't, because they know they need the points, and they know, and it's not something they would typically do, and they just overthink it. And there's those psychological factors when you're playing the Chiefs that no one talks about. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you have a team that's really, I think, playing their best football at the right time in the Kansas City Chiefs, and the 49ers, who I think are just in that, they're just kind of grinding a little bit. They're not getting to those wins as easy as they were in the regular season, Scotty.
Yeah, and I think the biggest matchup to look at in this game is probably the biggest strength on the KC defense versus the biggest strength on the, Niners offense, which, McCaffrey running the ball is pretty good strength, but I don't think they're going to be able to just rely on McCaffrey and run the run game solely in this game to win. It's going to be fascinating to see how the secondary matches up with Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel versus Trent McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed for the Chiefs. You have some decent linebacker play to match up with McCaffrey if he splits out. So who wins those battles? Like you talked about Deebo feasting in the middle of the field. We'll see. I don't know if I know there are numbers out there that the Chiefs weren't great in the middle of the field this year, but like I think part of that was on intent. But we also somehow Trent McDuffie won. He was a first team All Pro as the slot corner. Now I'm also looking forward to seeing and I think they'll just trade off, whether Trent guards Deebo versus Ayuk or it's Sneed versus Deebo and Ayuk. A lot of times Sneed follows the number one, but in this scenario, I feel like you kind of have like a 1A, 1B with San Fran with those two. And I think because San Fran motions so much to get one of those guys in ideal matchups, I think the Chiefs have the ideal ability to match up with them because they can trade off from Sneed to McDuffie and maybe not miss a beat, because I think Sneed and McDuffie might be the best 1-2 duo at corner in the league. Now, from a run game perspective, it'll be interesting. I think, obviously, in at least that first quarter, I think the Niners are going to be very run heavy. Let's let McCaffrey hopefully make some plays. Let's not put too much on Purdy early and often. And then you got Pacheco on the other side, and Pacheco's been damn good in these playoffs. I think he has a touchdown in each game of the postseason. He runs hard. He runs well. So I don't think the running game for either side wins this game. I think a lot of people think McCaffrey will win this game. I think Purdy's going to have to make some clutch plays and some big throws and win the game for him if they're to win it. I don't think they can rest solely on just hey, let's hand it off to McCaffrey. And I love McCaffrey. I thought McCaffrey should have been MVP. He did win Offensive Player of the Year tonight, Chris, but I thought he should have been MVP. But apparently that's just a quarterback award now.
Quarterback award.
So they gave it to Lamar Jackson. I didn't see the results, but I would imagine Lamar was number one in MVP voting, and I would imagine Josh Allen was number two, which means the Chiefs just rolled over on the road the two top MVP candidates in the NFL in back-to-back weeks. They're playing well, and that defense is so slept on still. And I get it, because you have Mahomes and Kelsey on the other side, and those are big storylines, and the Chiefs have always been an offensive team, but this is a really, really good defense that I think that's the ball people are missing. They still don't understand how good KC's defense is. And Spags has been phenomenal as a defensive coordinator of calling up creative coverages, moving guys late to fool them. Allen was fifth?
Shit.
No, he wasn't. There's no way. Let me see this. Hold on.
So many people on Twitter are so upset that Steve Tasker isn't in the Hall of Fame yet. Oh, Chris, how was it visiting the second home of the Miami Heat? It was awesome. Keep close. It was awesome. Got to see Boston. They squeaked out. I live betted, actually, by the way. I got in the middle of the game, I got the Hawks plus 9.5. I had to sweat that one out a little bit, but hey, it covered for me. What's up, Jay Cross? How we doing? Welcome.
I think I'm looking at these MVP voting, and I think there's a lot of people that vote for MVP that their vote should be revoked. And I don't know who they are.
We have this in the NBA. We have it in the NFL.
This is dog shit right here. Listen, we knew Lamar was going to win, and it's fine. It makes sense to me. Did he have a great historical year? No, but he won. He played great and won big in the biggest moments in the regular season. Maybe not in the playoffs. Dak finished number 2. A little surprising. Christian McCaffrey was 3rd. Brock Purdy was 4th, and Josh Allen was 5th.
Wild.
I just don't. The fact, and ironically though, there's 50 voters, Chris. 49 voted Lamar Jackson as the MVP. One person voted for someone else, and it was Josh Allen, who finished 5th.
This is like
no one who's voting for. How do you vote for Brock Purdy? 9 of the 50 voters said Brock Purdy's the second most valuable player in the NFL. Just turn in your voting card. Just turn it in now.
It's like,
you know you don't believe that when you're even submitting it. You know that's not true. It's egregious. I mean, that's not against what Brock Purdy's done, because as the last pick in the draft, he's done phenomenally well. But to say he's the second most valuable player in the NFL this year is wild. Wild, Chris.
MVP award criteria across NBA and NFL are just like hysterically just awful. Like just across the board. Like just how things are voted upon and who is in charge and has those votes is wild sometimes. When you see some of those rankings and how they rank players who have no business being in the conversation, right?
Yeah. And we got a lot in the chat about it, so I don't know that we were going to bring it up, but we can get into this. A lot of people mad. Myles Garrett wins Defensive Player of the Year over TJ Watt, who a lot of people probably had pegged. TJ Watt's won it before, so maybe there's some like voting fatigue there, which is natural. Guys, and Rec's not even here for me. I'm not saying this to anger Rec. If I was picking a player to be on my defense between TJ Watt and Myles Garrett, I'd take Myles Garrett.
He would have an issue with that. But
yeah, he absolutely would. But I would. And that's not a shot at TJ Watt. Myles Garrett, to me,
he's a baller, man.
Is the better athlete and player. He's definitely the better athlete. And I think more coverage is, forced on him, where he faces double teams more often in Cleveland. And maybe this is somewhat of a lifetime achievement award for him, because he was 7th in sacks this year with 14. But it's not all about sacks. And Micah went off. People were saying like, oh, TJ was robbed, and it was a graphic that compared TJ, Micah, and Myles Garrett. And I don't always agree with Micah's opinions, but he was like, nah, man, you got to look at the tape. Myles Garrett was clearly the better player of us three this year.
Let's see. And we'll just do a couple more questions here, and then we'll get back to, there's a couple more things we'll close out with this Super Bowl preview. Joe Flacco got comeback player of the year. Thoughts? I feel like that's deserved. I mean, he made an impact on a team that had no business winning anything once they had all the issues at quarterback that they had. They brought him in off the street, put him on the practice squad for a couple weeks, and he ended up taking that team and getting them into the playoffs. And they were even almost kind of a scary team. People didn't want to necessarily play them in the playoffs, and they didn't know what to expect. But like, I feel like that's for me, he made an impact as a guy that wasn't even close. He was bagging groceries somewhere probably, and was like, I mean, shout out to Kurt Warner, right?
Yeah.
and came in and did his thing, and he was impressive. I don't hate it.
My one issue with it, Chris, because when he came in, he was great until the playoffs. But my one issue was that if he got signed in the offseason and was a backup quarterback for a team for that long and then became the starter at the point he did, would he have won it? Or was it more the storyline of he just got signed off the streets? Like, so he's almost being rewarded for no one wanting him for the first 10 weeks of the season. Because if he was a backup, I don't think he would have won it.
See, I just think, like, I mean, everyone. Well, but then are you rewarding, the Hamlins and the other? Who was the other one?
That's fair. There weren't great candidates. That's fair.
Like, I mean, you can't like, if you're gonna give. There's those give and takes for those other players too, where they didn't even really contribute as much this season, and they were just story. So you're voting on the story as opposed to the actual production. But I see where they had their arguments, right? So it's like, in my opinion, I would probably, if it were my vote, I would vote Flacco, just Flacco.
How, Chris? He was the quarterback of your team. You can't say his name.
Oh my goodness, I just can't say it.
You had a good run there, and then
I had a
you
good
just
run.
fell back into Flacco. One more thing I'll bring up real quick. Coach of the year went to Stefanski for the Browns, which I'm not a huge problem, but the points were literally tied between him and D'Amico Ryans in the voting. He won. The tiebreaker is first place votes. He had 21. Ryans had 20. And what I find a little ironic about this is then those two faced each other in the first round of the playoffs, and Ryans beat the shit out of Stefanski. So I'm not saying they made the wrong choice with Stefanski, but it's a little ironic that the two neck and neck guys for Coach of the Year, then, because it's a regular season award, Chris, so they vote before the postseason, then matched up in the playoffs, and Ryan's team dominated. No, Ryan's team dominated.
Yeah. It should have been the Packers coach and Harbaugh. I mean, yeah. I mean, this voting, I haven't even had a chance to digest it all yet. I mean, we're doing it live here on stream, and it's like, yeah, I think there's some weird ones for sure.
There's other candidates, but I'm not mad at the top two. To win NFL Coach of the Year, you have to be perceived as a team that's not going to do well, and then you do well. You can't ever be a team that's preseason picked to do pretty well, and then you do even better. Doesn't matter. Like, Andy Reid isn't even mentioned ever, and I'm not saying he should have won it this year, but like other years, Andy Reid's never mentioned for Coach of the Year because they're just expected to do that every year. It's just what it is.
Real quick, let's get back to this Super Bowl preview and put a bow on this one. Because we're going to be getting to prop bets coming up, all the things that we're looking out for, and we're going to be getting into all the wacky bets that are going to be on our radar. We're going to get into some fun ones here. So make sure you guys stick around for all of those. But a couple little other pieces of info on this one. NFC, Scotty, you'll like this stat. Struggled being a favorite in Super Bowls. Last 10 that the NFC team was the favorite, dating back to 1996, 1-7-2 against the spread. And given the spread is only 2, that just tells you everything you need. I mean, some of those games in there, Philly, KC, Bengals, Rams, Carolina was favored over Denver. So, just a handful of those examples. But NFC hasn't fared well as favorites in the Super Bowl in recent years. By the way, Super Bowl winning quarterback over the last 20 years that are already Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. Pretty good records as well as underdogs in the playoffs. So you have some stats around that. It's the 22nd time where one quarterback has a 2+ Super Bowl gap over the opposing quarterback. 13-8 straight up. So advantages go to the quarterback that has the experience. There's a lot of things going on with this game that are pretty interesting going back and forth. I'm gonna get to some of these prop bets in a little bit, but
one I'll throw out that's a small sample, but this is the fourth coaching rematch in Super Bowl history, Chris, where the same head coaches face each other. The three prior instances, the coach that won the first time, won the second time as well. So that leans Andy Reid as well. Like every time there's a rematch in the Super Bowl, team that won the first won the second, as far as coaching matchups go.
Yeah. So there a lot of interesting lines here to get into this game. Also, too, so we're gonna get into the prop bets and some of these bets, but just from the side and the total, let's break that down a little bit. I think if we have a best bet that we're gonna be pushing, it's probably gonna be that Kansas City +2, right? I think that's pretty safe, at least from a straight side. Interestingly enough, Scotty, 47.5 is the total, right? And you're thinking, all right, where did you have a lean on that, by the way?
No, I really don't. I mean, we can bet on it, but I don't have a great feel either way.
I don't, and there's a reason why you don't have a great feel, and there's a reason I don't have a great feel, because it is exactly spot on with some of these stats. So indoor Super Bowls, 11-9 to the under, and the average in those games, 47.6 was the average score. Or no, the average total in those games, I should say, is 47.6. The average score was 47.8 in those games. Literally razor sharp on the point. So when they're getting this number at 47.5, there's that history that backs up that this is exactly, there's no edge one way or another on the over-under. Like, if you want to bet it and you want to sweat it, go for it. But I don't think we're touching the over-under in this one, Scotty.
Yeah, this could go two very different directions as far as how the gameplay goes.
I was blown away when I saw that. In those indoor Super Bowls, 11-9 to the under. Again, average total was 47.6. Average score in those games, 47.8. It was literally exactly the same. If
you held a gun to my head, I would take the under, but
I would lean under too, if I had to. But it's not going to be one that's going to be giving us a value point on the edge. Taylor Swift favorite number is 13. 4 + 9 equals 13, and Purdy is number 13. Niners winners.
Oh, I have a lot more numbers to break down with that number if you want. We can do that now.
Oh, well, should we get over to, so we have our prop bets. Do we want to go over to some of the Taylor Swift props right away? Do we want to keep those for later?
Either way.
Let's throw your 13s out, Scotty. Throw your 13s.
Okay. So there's a lot of, I didn't create this. This just happened. So as Mama Murphy said, Taylor Swift, her favorite number is 13. She was born on the 13th of December. That's probably why. She turned 13 on Friday the 13th. Her first album went gold in the US after 13 weeks, Chris. She just won her 13th Grammy this past week. It's Super Bowl 58, Chris. What's 5 + 8?
13.
Chris, she's been in person to 12 Chiefs games this year. So if she goes to the Super Bowl,
it's her 13th.
How many will that be?
13.
Okay. Chris, Niners, what seed were they in the NFC?
Number 1.
Okay. What were the Chiefs?
Number 3.
What does 1 and 3 make? 13?
13.
Is that 13?
13.
Okay. As Mama Murphy put out there, 49ers, 4 + 9.
13.
Okay. Chris, do you know what day this is being played on? What's the date of this game?
Is it 11?
It's February 11th, Chris. It's 2/11.
2/11. 13.
What's 2 + 11? Yeah. Chris, what's 100 - 13?
87, which is Travis Kelsey's number.
Travis Kelsey's number, right? Yes, Purdy wears 13. Chris, if you take a direct flight from Tokyo to Vegas, how long does it take?
It's approximately 13 hours, give or take. Her private jet might make it 12, but she'll make that extra hour happen.
I mean, the correlations here with the number 13, pretty wild, Chris. Pretty damn wild. Do I know what it means? No, but it's fun to mention. You know, I like Medic. If you add 12 plus 1, what does that make? Sometimes I gotta walk through it with some people.
Taylor Swift Illuminati confirmed. We're gonna be diving into some crazy Taylor Swift, and we want your help to pick what's gonna be the answers to those. So we'll get to those in a little bit.
I'm gonna eat 13 chicken wings that day, Chris. just cause.
Everything is a 13. 13 pieces of ice, or just like ice cubes in your drink. That's it.
That's a lot of ice cubes.
It's a lot of ice. Depends on what you're drinking, I guess. But Purdy finished 13 spots ahead of Kelsey in Offensive Player of the Year voting.
Mm-hmm.
Is that real? Is that?
Probably not. I would not think Kelsey even finished 17th.
He said all these are true.
At 4th.
If you add my phone bill minus Chris's phone bill, what does that make? $1,300. Okay.
Who's overpaying?
That's a lot.
That's a lot of difference.
So there you go. So yeah,
we currently have 13 viewers as I look down, Chris.
Seriously? We have literally 13 viewers. Screenshot.
I just looked at that. I mean, I can't create that one, Chris.
Yeah.
All right.
We were when we started talking about this. We were streaming for an hour and 13 minutes.
And I'm pretty sure it was 9:13 when we started talking about that, or at least during that portion.
Here we are. It's the world we live in. It's all about 13. What does that mean? If the Super Bowl has a player or quarterback with 15, that means Josh Giddey to the play. I mean, I don't even know. It was 11-13 started the combo.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Sergeant, we nailed it.
Guys.
Keep these coming. Keep these coming, by the way.
It's getting a little wild.
If my dog scratches himself 13 times and howls when Taylor Swift's song comes on, does that mean something? I mean, other than the fleas? Probably.
That means very real things. Your dog's a Swiftie, obviously. Beyond that, I don't know necessarily what it means. Maybe your dog will have 13 pups. Probably spayed or neutered, but you know.
Guys, keep the 13s coming. Let's get them going. Let me adjust. I need to adjust a couple things here. And then we're gonna get into some prop bets. Let's get into the prop bets, because I think there's some interesting ones. We've already talked about the game lines and the over/under total. By the way, money line minus 120, KC plus 100. Getting some okay value on some of those. Those are still Niners are minus 130 and actually KC plus 110 as we sit now, and it's 2.5 plus 2.5 for Kansas City, at least on FanDuel Sportsbook. So go make those bets. Go get those wagers out there. Again, a lot of the stats we talked about lean towards taking the Chiefs in this game if you want to be on the right side of the betting standpoint, but that's just for the lines on the game. What if all the 13 stuff means the Chiefs are cursed for 13 years of bad luck if they lose? Ooh,
good thing we don't have to worry about that.
All right, let's get into it.
Kelsey might get 13 catches.
All right, let's get this off, because we are going to get to this in a little
more
bit.
Swifties. Oh, not yet.
But we are going to talk about some prop bets. Scotty, I don't know if you've looked at some of them out there, but there's some interesting ones I was kind of going through and seeing which ones were a little bit more attractive. Now, like, I don't know. Did you hear the Steve Fezzik podcast at all this week?
I did.
So you heard about, you know,
The even money one.
yeah, even money. We I think we listened to similar. I listened to a couple others, but
with Ross Tucker.
Yeah. One of the things that he said was, if you have to go after some of these props, just a rule of thumb, the two options, yes or no, are some of the ones that you probably want to stick to if you want to be profitable. Not the ones where it's like, you know, Deebo Samuel between 10 to 15 yards receiving, 16 to 21 yards receiving, those, and there's like a bunch of options. The yes, no, will it happen, will it not happen, are kind of the ones that tend to be more profitable over the long run when it's making some of these bets. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, you can go as crazy or as wild as you want with prop bets. So, I mean, you do you. It's all entertainment. Have some fun with it. Enjoy it. But just from profitability standpoint, keep an eye out for those types of bets. Now, there were a handful that I'll just spit a few at you, Scotty, of some that I, you know, found interesting. And we can talk through them. Maybe they become some of our best bets of the week, because we are still doing the best bets. We're doing our 4 top best bets. And then I don't know if we should do, we don't have Rec kind of coordinating the other thing. So maybe we just do our 4 best bets and just go from there for this last run. But few that I kind of am leaning towards. Second half to have more points. I feel like this is going to start out slow. And I feel like there's going to be some slow for the 49ers. Both these defenses getting in, they're very good. They're going to be in a spot where, you know, easing into the game and having some struggles offensively to start both sides. What's up, Breeze? How we doing? Who's your team and where are you from? Like to get to know you. Welcome into the chat. So I'm kind of liking second half to have more points. We have there's a lot of CMC props. Christian McCaffrey. I feel like they're going to lean on him. Where the Baltimore Ravens went off their game plan of running the ball, I feel like the 49ers are going to lean on Christian McCaffrey to get him going early. There was one bet, Christian McCaffrey over 3.5 yards on his first carry. I don't hate it. That was an interesting one. There's also some overs for receiving yards. We already cashed in on CMC having more receiving yards last game. But Chris McCaffrey's all over prop bets in this one. Let's see. So rushing props for Christian McCaffrey. Let me pull it up here.
I think he's at like 90.5 as the over-under on rushing yards.
Yeah, I think he is. Man, there's so much to throw at here. Breezy. Steelers. Little mad about honors, but hey, NFL awards, just pity awards nowadays. Walt wasn't even there. He was playing hooky with his wife on Instagram. CMC prop bets for the dub. And here's the thing, guys. Regardless of how we feel about the game itself, prop bets are a whole different level, right? So let's go ahead. We'll take a look at Christian McCaffrey here. Rushing yards is set at 89.5. I feel like, it's high, but I think if I had a lean, it would be the over. Receiving yards 33.5. I think that's more attractive for me, Scotty. We hit it on the last game in the NFC Championship, and I think they'll get him going on the receiving there. They'll mix him in a lot of different ways, and I think he'll get some yardage there. But what's popping out to you?
I'm glazing over these, and some of these are player props. My favorite prop is, and it's a minus like 1 55, I think, right now, Chris. And it was on Fezzix, but I like it all the time. Like Chiefs plus a half point first quarter makes all the sense in the world to me. Like, listen, both these teams you're looking at, like both, if they win the coin toss, are going to defer and want the ball in the second half. So it's 50-50 on who's going to start with this ball. Even if they do, the Niners this postseason kind of started off slow offensively. Haven't done a lot. The Chiefs in 3 games have 17 points in their first drives of the game. 2 touchdowns and a field goal. They started off hot. If they score a touchdown and you get a plus half with the Chiefs in that first quarter, that feels really, even at minus 150. So you got to lay some vig there. Like, feels really, really good to me. You know, you'd love to bet anytime TD, but McCaffrey's priced beyond that with anytime TD because you'd love to bet McCaffrey on that. But at minus 225, it's just you can't do it.
It's too much juice at that point.
Yeah, people are constantly betting the over. Pacheco's a little more manageable at like minus 125. Anytime scorer. He has a TD in all 3 playoff games for the Chiefs, so wouldn't shock me there to see Pacheco get a score at minus 125. I like that. At even odds, plus 100, Purdy to throw a pick. Purdy, listen, this is Super Bowl. Dude hasn't played in a game of this magnitude. I mean, he went to Iowa State.
Ever.
Not close to this magnitude, Chris. And frankly, he should, like, Green Bay dropped like 3 picks against them that were right in their hands. I think the Chiefs probably get a pick in this game, so I like Purdy over a half, 0.5 interceptions at even odds. And I know these are all leaning towards the Chiefs. One for the Niners. Like when the Niners played, and we watched this game on Sunday, Chris, a few years ago, Juszczyk had like a big impact. He scored a touchdown, almost scored a second touchdown on the receiving end in that game. His over-under for receptions is a half, Chris. I think he gets one.
Say that one more time.
Kyle Juszczyk's over-under for receptions is 0.5. He just needs one.
Just needs one.
Just got to get one.
Well, they're going to mix up what they throw. You know, they're going to throw in some different kind of plays that might try to throw the Chiefs off, which means they're going to go with guys like that. I think might surprise. You getting some value on that. I don't hate that at all.
I like Kittle's odds for a TD in this game are plus like 175. I don't hate that. I could easily see Kittle getting a score. Listen, the cornerbacks for the Chiefs are really, really good. They might lock up Debo and Ayuk a little bit, but you still got Kittle in the middle of the field, and that could be a target for them if they're going to throw for a touchdown. I could see Kittle at plus 175 being pretty good odds. And I will always, and I don't know where it's at now, always, you should have bet this days ago, and this was on Fezzik, but I learned this years ago. Always bet the over on rushing yards for Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
Unless he...
The only time he doesn't get it is he has to kneel the ball at the end of the game. And damn it, NFL, you shouldn't count a kneel down. Should not be loss of rushing yards. If you kneel down the ball as a quarterback, that should not count against your rushing total. Bullshit. I lost money on that, and it's bullshit.
You gotta account for that, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kittle's game to shine, in my opinion. Yeah, I think between Kittle and I think Debo could be an interesting one. I don't know.
I mean, those are the 2 guys that had the taste of losing to this team in the last Super Bowl. Correct. On offense.
Correct.
And there's some on defense with Warner and Bosa. But on offense, I believe it's just Kittle and Debo Samuel. and Debo was a rookie that year that are still a part of this offense for the San Francisco 49ers. So if someone's going to make an impact, you'd think these guys that like want to feed off that retribution, that pain they felt, they know what it feels like to lose a Super Bowl. I've heard countless players. I've heard Travis Kelce talk about like when they lost their Super Bowl, even after he won one, they lost the next year. And he's like, that I never want to live through that again. Like, so that certainly feeds people. So like, if you're going to target some options with the Niners, I think you maybe target those two guys.
Some interesting ones we have. Will there be a 2-point conversion attempt? I mean, there's a little juice on this one. It's minus 188, so it's a safer bet. Not terrible, but it's not ideal. This was a lot lower the other day. I probably should have taken it, but we don't anticipate there being a 2-point conversion. I think that's another one we can have on our radar. It won't
occur before the fourth quarter. Neither of these coaches.
Correct.
Lean to. There's no historical context to think that they will go for 2 prior to the fourth quarter. They're both pretty conservative in that nature. So could it happen in the fourth quarter? Of course, depending on the score and situation. But you give us 1 quarter at minus 188. Yeah, feel pretty good about that.
Either team to kick a game walk-off field goal, game winning at the end of regulation. Plus 1,300, 13 to 1 on your money, Scotty. If there's a game win, I don't know.
Chairman already released the script that the Chiefs are winning by 13, so that one doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It's probably, if that's the case, Chairman, then stay off of that one. Let's see. They got some crazy ones in here. I'm in FanDuel Sportsbook, and there's one here. Next gen stats is a thing where fastest offensive ball carrier recorded next gen stats in the game. Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey are both the favorites in that one. At plus, they're like almost 6 to 1.
Say that again. I was reading the chat. What'd you say?
Fastest offensive ball carrier recorded from next gen stats. So you're pretty much predicting who's going to have like a breakout, like a long play. So those probably go hand in hand with each other, right? So if you're betting on anybody having long play, you probably want to tag that up and pair it with one of these players who you think it's going to be, because anyone in the open field, there's not going to be that many massive plays, I would think, with these two defenses. But if there is one breakout, they're thinking it's going to be Samuel or McCaffrey, which I don't think that's far off. Pacheco's third on this list. I don't think Pacheco breaks a long one.
Force probably Rice.
Oh, no. Rice isn't even... Ooh, Rashi Rice is... Well, he's 6 to 1.
Rice is...
He's 6.5 to 1.
All right.
So...
Might be a solid pick, although... We didn't mention this, but Rashi Rice did show up on the injury report, which made me stop breathing for a decent moment in time.
That's not.
He got stepped on. He got stepped on in practice today with an ankle thing, but everything I've read is he's fine and he'll be good to go. So hopefully that's true.
Guys, there's playoff. There's matchups too. Total passing yards matchup. The spread, 15.5 between Purdy and Mahomes. Mahomes is minus 15.5. Is this passing yards? So he needs to have at least 16 more passing yards than Purdy. And you win that bet, minus 110.
Purdy's over-under I've seen on passing yards in general is around 247, 248, 246. Let's call the average 247. I take the under on that for sure. For sure. I might take the under on 261 on Mahomes. I don't love the secondary, but if the Chiefs get up early, I don't know. they kind of like sit on it, and they've been really good at sitting on it.
These matchups are interesting. Total receiving yards matchups. They have rushing touchdown matchups. So Christian McCaffrey and Pacheco are matched up to each other, and Pacheco's half a touchdown, getting plus a half a touchdown there.
At what odds?
Minus 170.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, that's not like minus 110, is it?
But they also have like comparisons of like rushing yards matchups between Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy. And it's like Christian McCaffrey's minus 75 and a half yards. It's like, yeah, I would probably take that. I don't think Purdy's going to be running around. And I think McCaffrey's going to at least get, it could be an interesting one. All right. So I'm trying to take a look at any of these last little ones that might stand out before we dive into our best bets, because we're going to probably be populating our best bets here in a minute. And then we're going to get to all the other prop bets that you guys care and love more than anything else. Let's see. We're in this 2-point odds would be minus 500. Ayuk's going to go crazy, says Mama Murphy. Nuggets kicking some butt tonight. I saw this halftime score. We were up 10.
I didn't even see the score.
We're up 10 at halftime. I don't know where it's at now.
Nice.
Let's be fair, though. If the Chiefs are going to win, Pacheco will need a touchdown. Says keep close.
No.
Rashi Rice went to SMU. They do shy away when it matters. Here's a legitimate question. What will Purdy have to do in the Super Bowl? Got there as a first-year starter for Scotty to consider him elite.
There's nothing he can do in the Super Bowl.
Not a damn thing.
I mean, I'm answering it legitimately. Like, Brock Purdy is not elite. He's just not. And I agree with Cam Newton. He's a game manager. He's done a good job of it. But Brock Purdy on like 27 of the 32 teams is trash. He's trash.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He's not. He's never. And well, in my eyes, he will never be elite. He just doesn't have the traits. He's not good enough to do that. He has a great system.
And also too, Purdy rushing yards here. Love the rushing yards from Purdy. The one thing I don't love about the rushing yards from Purdy is the fact that, like, all right, turning him into a rusher. He's gonna start doing that, right? So, first of all, it's on everyone's radar that, you know, in these big games, you tend to see quarterbacks run around a little bit more than they typically do because they, you know, need to make some plays at certain points of this game, and they, you know, surprise, right? But Chiefs have been shutting down really good rushing quarterbacks recently. So even if a guy who doesn't have a strength as a runner decides to run, it's like, how much do we expect? What's his total? What's Purdy's rushing total?
I'm trying to find that. My guess would be around like 20, but I'm trying to find it.
Here we go. I got it here.
Oh no, it's 12 and a half.
I mean, I think he can get 12 and a half.
I like the over on 12 and a half.
I think he can get 12 and a half.
Purdy. I like the over there.
I mean, I feel like he
surprised me a little in that NFC Championship game when he scooted a little times. He's a little faster, a little quicker than I gave him credit for, maybe.
Well, and I think too, there's like an element of surprise. Like if they try to put him in those scenarios 2 or 3 times, he's going to get a few yards each one if they try to give him some love in that area, right? So not a bad spot there. Yeah. Real quick, I wanted to look at Debo receiving yards. Debo over 58 and a half. On over under set at 58 and a half. I kind of like the over in that one. Debo's an interesting one. I thought it was going to be closer to like.
I like I like Debo over on rushing yards. I think he's at like 16 and a half. I would take the over on that. And I like more than receiving yards. I like receptions over at 4.5. I'd take the over on receptions for Debo rather than put it to yards. Cause I think they'll give him some like, wide receiver screens, easy grabs where maybe he breaks one, maybe he doesn't, but I feel like he's going to get 5 catches in this.
Purdy over 1,500 rushing yards and all over a dozen rushing touchdowns in college. If memory serves.
Played in the Big 12, so it doesn't count because defenses aren't real.
It's not.
Well, that's
real.
what I've been told.
But I am telling
Those defenses
Yeah,
are not
Battle
real.
of is this the first time in like the history, or it's 2 Big 12 quarterbacks going at it in the Super Bowl?
Then there's field goal, all sorts of good stuff. All right. So we have a bunch of ideas that we've been kicking around.
I have to pee again somehow, Chris.
We'll get to those in
My
a second.
apologies.
All
I drank
good.
a lot of water tonight.
Oh, and then coming up next, we're gonna go into all of the other crazy props for like the Gatorade bath and like all the coin flip. It's always heads, by the way. It's always heads. Tails always fails. So there's that. We'll get into all of those coming up next. Real quick, I want to make sure that I'm not missing any others. Mahomes over 36.5 total passing attempts. I feel like that could be a decent. I don't hate that. Brock Purdy under 1.5 passing touchdowns. I can see that. If they're leaning on Christian McCaffrey, handing off the ball to him quite a bit too, that's a point of emphasis. I can see that cutting in. Not even close. Purdy runs scared a decent amount. He'll probably be running a little bit. They need to protect him realistically. That's a good Kansas City defense. It's been getting pressure on a lot of good quarterbacks. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's open up our best bets. And we're going to pick 4 best bets that we know are locks for the big game so that you guys know exactly where we are putting our money and where we think we're going to win some cash for the Super Bowl, So let me go ahead. I'll pull this up. Up until this point, we are 10-5. And we're not going to do Lab Rat Pick this week. It's too many logistics on getting it all set up. So we're going to skip that because we have a lot to get to here. And we're going to get into some of these other areas. So go ahead. This is going to be all of our best bets for these games in the sense that we're going to be picking, I think, maybe the side. I think we both feel good on the side. So, Scotty.
Yep.
We both it's pretty safe to say we both like the Kansas City Chiefs on the spread, but hear me out on this. Alternate game line, alternate spread. KC minus 2.5 is plus 128.
Just take it to 12.5. They're winning by 13, Chris.
By the way, plus 12 or minus 12.5 is plus 560.
It's easy. It's free money, people.
Is that free money?
Free money. Free money.
Where are we going on the spread, Scotty? We both feel comfortable. Anytime you're
KC plus 2.
Anytime you're getting KC,
I have a substantial money line bet, which isn't that different.
We're gonna take plus 2.5 because that's what the line's at right now.
Perfect. Do that.
We're gonna do KC plus 2.5. Let's change the color. It's not green yet. All right. First bet in. KC plus 2.5. Feel really good about that. Also, what stood out to you from some of those prop bets? I think we're not touching the over under probably, right? Your boy Steve Fezzik liked the 3 consecutive scores thing, by the way. Did you hear him say that?
I did hear.
He likes
Hear
that
that.
one. I don't know about that one. But
I like it because the casual reads that and is like, that never happens.
it happens
doesn't
more than you
happen.
think. It happens more than
It
you
happens
think.
all the time. That's why it's like it's minus money. It's not plus money on that.
All right.
So I'd be fine with that.
What?
But we can talk through some more here. Let's talk through some more.
Let's talk through some more. So we both were interested in some Deebo Samuel, right? Deebo Samuel over 50. Well, there's over 58 receiving yards. There was the rushing total over 16.5 rushing yards. There was receptions 4.5. I feel comfortable with the 4.5. That one seems pretty. They're going to use him quite a bit.
All right. Let's go Debo over 4.5 receptions. I'm good with that.
All right. So we'll do Debo over 4.5 receptions. All right. Over 4.5 receptions. All right, shrink this bad boy down and color it up. All right, number 2 locked in. Okay, there we go. Number 2 in the books. Number 3. There was where, you know what, another one that I was looking at while you were up was, where is it? Touchdown passes. What's the touchdown passes for? I think it's 1.5 for Brock Purdy. Passing touchdowns. Over under 1.5 for Brock Purdy. I kind of, if I had to choose, I would probably lean under, but that's a sweat, probably.
It's
a sweat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love betting on quarterback passing touchdowns because that's so random. Like, whether if you're at the 3-yard line, are you going to throw for one or run for one? And that's really what it comes down to. Like, I don't like at the quarterback spot as far as going over under and touchdowns. I do still like the over on a half for interceptions for Purdy in this game. I think he throws one.
I also don't hate your boy for pass attempts over 36.5
for Mahomes.
Yeah. Does he get to 37?
I actually like the under on Purdy at 31.5 more. But I would lean over with the Chiefs, but you just never know how the game's going to play out, right?
Well, let's do. I mean,
I like Purdy. I like Purdy
interception.
under 31.5, or let's do a Purdy one under 31.5 attempts, or over 0.5 interceptions in this game. I'm fine with either one.
So, I mean, Brock Purdy interception. Will he throw one? I'm at minus 132 on that, which. So
that he will.
That he will. So
I think he will.
Yeah, let's do it. So, all right, Purdy. 1. INT, or I could just say INT. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. All right, so turn that. If it changed color. All right.
I want to like find some obscure something like how many times do they go for it on fourth down or something.
Yeah, there was so there's a couple here that I was thinking about earlier for just the game itself. I mean, I also had that other one, more points scored in the second half.
I don't love that one.
You don't like that one?
Only normally in the Super Bowl, I love that. Love it in the Super Bowl. Historically in the Super Bowl, it plays. The Chiefs this year have very much been like a score in the first half team, and then like not so much in the second half. So I get concerned about that.
Highest scoring half. Second half is there. It's both 115, so it's kind of split down the middle.
Yeah, which normally I'd be right with you. I just knowing how the Chiefs have played this year for whatever reason, like Chiefs went through like a 4 game stretch where they didn't score in the second half, Chris. And by the way, they didn't score in the second half last week or 2 weeks ago in the AFC Championship game. Didn't score. But neither did the Ravens put up 3. So like I have concerns about that. And the way their defense adjusts in the second half. I feel like their defense plays better in the second half than it does in the first, and their offense plays better in the first than the second. So I almost lean the first half, but I won't. I wouldn't ever.
We'll stay off.
I would never advertise that either.
We'll stay off
because when push comes to shove, like naturally you'd lean towards the second half because people are desperate. You time and situation, you push the ball down the field, you get more aggressive.
I mean, what's the over-under total on this game again? We are 47 and a half.
47 and a half. We both leaned slightly under.
Slightly under, but the winning team is going to put up... What's the team total for the Chiefs? Because we can do a race.
Chris, no, I already have it. No, never mind. I got it. Mahomes over 25 and a half rushing yards.
Mahomes over 20 and a half rushing yards.
25 and a half.
Is that where it's at right now? What's the line on that?
It's like minus 110. Minus 105, minus 110.
Over 25 and a half rush yards.
Like that you eliminated the U in rush because that would have been too much. Way too much.
Should I just throw it in there? There we go.
No, you know, I mean, I don't care.
All right. There we go. I like it. So those are our 4 top best bets. I'm going to go ahead and make these.
And to be clear, our record is 10-5, but we've only lost like 3. We're 9-2.
We're 9-2.
Or something like that.
Yeah. So we're crushing Scotty.
Yeah. This postseason. It's where I make my hay.
MVP's Lamar Jackson. Take the marbles out of your mouth so we can understand what the hell you're saying, dude.
I will look at that later because I'm not watching it now, but we knew Lamar was going to win it. I don't think this was a great year for MVPs.
No.
Lamar's one of the lesser, stats-wise, MVPs we've seen in a while. Like, when Lamar won it in his first time winning it, his stats lapped what he won it with this year. Like, he was way better that year as far as stats go. So,
yeah.
I don't know. It was almost like they were like, just give it to someone. I would have given it to McCaffrey. Doesn't have to go to a quarterback, people.
We got to change the narrative. We have to change the narrative. All right. So there we go. Those are our best bets. KC plus 2.5. Deebo Samuel over 4.5 receptions. Purdy just throw an interception, and Mahomes over 25.5 rushing yards. So there you go. I'm going to be placing those bets here on my own account. So we're going to have some fun with that. And then I'm going to add a bunch more. I typically have a nice little budget carved out for the Super Bowl with all the props. So I'm going to be having some fun, Scott. I know you are too.
I got to put some money in my account for the props because I emptied it on Chiefs money line. That's not a joke. That's true.
Yeah, Chiefs money line, by the way, in case you are interested in that, is plus 110 on the money line as we sit.
Shit, I got bad odds on that. I think I'm at plus 105. So
yeah, it's you're
it's still fine. I'm gonna get paid a lot. So
I don't know why I feel like there's gonna be a last second move on this line as we get closer to the game. I just have a feeling that it's been creeping back up. It went back to 2, now 2.5.
I don't think it's gonna move in the Chiefs' direction.
No, I would say it moves in favor plus 3 for Kansas City, and then I would hammer plus 3.
Yeah, because the last second people that are betting are casuals, and they're gonna bet on Niners because they want to like cheer for the Niners, so they're gonna bet on the Niners. So there's even more incentive to cheer.
Or there's also people that want to bet against the Chiefs too. They just want
no. That's what I mean. That's why they're betting on the Niners.
Yeah.
They don't want the Chiefs to win.
Yeah. Exactly. The people are betting with their hearts, not their heads, and then it changes the lines, and all of a sudden you're looking at a plus 3, and you're just like, why am I not jumping all over that? Because we will jump all over it.
This is the most casually bet game all year in any sporting event, and it's also. Yeah, the casuals bet with their heart, which is fine. You're betting once a year, maybe. Like, bet with your heart. You don't want to not bet with it. You want to cheer for the team you want to win, so bet on them. Lose, a little bit of money. No big deal.
All right. The chat's a little quiet tonight, Scotty, so we gotta ramp things up a little bit. First of all, I'm going to take a code yellow, but while I'm gone, I need you guys.
No, I'm just kidding.
I've spam. Like I've been, it's been building up for me. Don't worry. I'm right behind you. Spam code yellow in the chat for me in a second, but I need you to spam your favorite food at a Super Bowl party. Last year we did the Super Bowl draft, had a great time with it. We're not going to do that this year. We're going to take some time off of that one, but I want to know your go-to, whether you make it or when you show up to a Super Bowl party and it's there sitting on the table, what do you get excited for? Spam it in the chat. I want to know all the best things so that I can keep an eye out. I'm doing my stuff as always. You know me, Scotty. I do my wings. I get my deep fryer out.
Wings really agree with my keto diet right now, so I appreciate that.
I got you covered. Throw out your favorite food options that get you excited for a Super Bowl in the chat, and I'll be right back.
Spam code yellow. Diacol already did, but everyone else. Wings are always fire. I mean, what as in hot, but also wings are always legit. Diacol doing some chicken street tacos. Like that. I'll just take all the toppings and put it on my carb-free tortillas because I'm an idiot doing keto again. It seems to work, right, Chairman? It's working. I've only done it for like a week now, but so far so good. Deviled Dock, alcohol. Everything else is covered. But I go for the buffalo chicken dip wings. Milwaukee loves the brats. Okay, I haven't done brats on in Milwaukee. That's kind of your thing, right? Like Milwaukee, they love their sausage in brats. So that makes sense. I make a mean queso with a little meat in there too that I always like to make for the Super Bowl. That's really, really good with a couple. It's really easy, which is nice, but just a couple secret things that you wouldn't think naturally go in a queso, but when you throw it in queso, it works real well. But wings are legit. I'm trying to.
Let's see. What do we got? Wings?
Yeah, Chairman, keto is turbocharged if you combine it with intermittent fasting. Yeah, which is what I'm doing, Chairman. I don't eat until noon, and then I stop eating by probably 6 o'clock. So, yeah, you do both, and it works pretty well. I'm only a week in, but I think I lost like 6 pounds in a week, so I'll take it.
Yeah, wings by far.
We're
my
talking
favorite.
about diets, Chris, not food. No, I'm just kidding.
Wings by far only thing that matter for me when I show up. But we talk about like dips. You always have to have good dips. So I see like the buffalo chicken dip in the chat from Devil Doc. Yeah, stuff like that.
Can't go wrong with the buffalo chicken. Anything.
No,
right? Like anything buffalo chicken. And it's all like the same ingredients, right? So it's just a matter of how you decide to just present it and put it in your mouth, essentially.
Exactly. And sliders always solid. Any kind of sandwiches, like sandwiches, always. Any kind.
You know what I'm gonna do one day, Chris, when I'm fancier and built for that, and don't have young children and my wife is in town for the Super Bowl. I want to do some like sliders that are like some prime rib sliders with some horseradish and au jus on the side, like legit, like nice sliders. Because Chris, I love a prime rib sandwich with like more than au jus. I love horseradish, so I'm a horseradish guy. But yeah, I'd be all about that. So I'll make that one day. One day. Not this year, because again, I've been abandoned by the person that's supposed to love me more than anyone else.
You should have cooked that sandwich for her this year. She would have stayed in town.
She's left me with
the
3 children
audacity.
During the Super Bowl. And it turns out, Chris, hard to find people to watch your kids during the Super Bowl. Apparently, people have plans.
People, I guess it's kind of a busy day for people. Chairman, down 68 pounds. Congratulations, brother. That's amazing. Incredible.
That's phenomenal, dude. That's awesome.
That's an accomplishment. Congrats. He's like, I think you're good. The doctor, hey, you're rocking and rolling for your doctor right there. Medic crawfish etouffee is my staple. Always have buffalo dip. Finger foods, always a staple. Always the easy little things. They get you in trouble though too, because they're so little, and you're just like, oh yeah, I could just have like another small one. It's just small, and then you eat like 100 of them, and you're just like, all right, here we go. Crawfish.
I've never had crawfish on Super Bowl Sunday, Medic.
No,
I'm not against it. Crawfish I don't even know how to say that word. Etouffee?
Etouffee? Etouffee? Yeah, something like that. It's French. You're all about the French.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see. Italian beef is a must in Milwaukee, Chicago area.
My problem with Italian beef, it's just a worse version of like a cheesesteak or a prime rib sandwich. It's like my third choice in those. They're very similar. Etouffee.
I wasn't too far off.
Yeah. Chili. Keep close throughout chili. Chili's fine. Chili's fine to me. It's not like it's something I'm going to be like, I'm so excited for chili. But I'll eat chili and I'll like chili.
Yeah. I think it's how you elevate the chili to make it a showstopper, right? Like if you take the chili and you do like, it includes like some, I don't know, chili tots or something, or you like make it like add some level of complexity where it's like you have a couple guilty pleasures thrown all into one. I think you can maybe have some there. Chili cheese fries, right? I think there you start mixing it up a little bit.
Chairman said he's going to make some loaded Taylor tots.
By the way, guys, Medic, we have a recipe section. We need all your recipes of your favorite Super Bowl in our Discord, !Discord, in the chat. Most of you guys are here, and make sure you guys throw your recipes, because I might be taking some of them and putting them on my menu coming up this Sunday. So just put that out there. I just got here again, but where are the nachos at?
Nachos are always in play, but nachos have kind of been stepped on recently, I think, Chris, as more people adapt to the loaded, cheese fries or loaded tater tots or whatever it is. It's basically a nacho that's on top of fries or, tater tots instead of chips. And listen, I'll always eat a good nacho, but I also like those other ones. So tough call there. Milwaukee, what? WTF? Italian beef dominates Philly cheesesteak. No, because you know what cheesesteaks have? Cheese. That's my problem with Italian beef. Where's the cheese?
I mean, STG's got a nice little set right there. Poutine, fries, cheese curds, gravy. Oh, that's heavy. That's a heavy. That's the one thing about that you got to be careful, STG, because you want to save for like some of the other things. Oof, man, that'll weigh you down a little bit. All right, let's get to some of these. Keep those coming, by the way. Let's get to some of these. So coin flip, we got some of these different props. I think you have it pulled up, Scotty, on some of the like the Gatorade odds and some of these others. And then we're gonna get to some specific Taylor Swift ones, because those are pretty substantial as well. These aren't typically readily available, and these are kind of more fun, like exotic bets that you don't typically see in a lot of your little sports books. But hey, we're gonna talk about them regardless. First of all, Scotty, it's always heads, right? It's always heads.
It's tails never fails, but in the Super Bowl, it's been heads.
Heads, baby. I only go heads. And I think that's the ticket this year. Going heads. All right. So we got that. We got some anthem and halftime stuff, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, so the anthem's being performed by good old Reba McEntire. She's got an over-under of 86.5 seconds. I don't know where that sits compared to other like performers necessarily. I haven't taken a deep dive into like, where should this national anthem fall. There is a bet out there like, will Reba sing the national anthem a cappella? Yes or no? That's a no. She's not singing an a cappella alone. I think she's gonna have, for the Super Bowl, she's gonna have some accompaniment, some instruments at play there. It's too big of an event, and she's too old. Damn it.
Yeah.
Diacola sold us on the Nuggets dominating win, and all of a sudden they're only up 3.
It's a 3-point game. What's happening here? What's happening? Yeah, some of the Reba ones, I feel like she's gonna keep it simple. Not go crazy. I could put my money on Reba lip syncs. Or can I put my money on Reba lip syncs? Do you think she's gonna lip sync? I don't know.
How does one prove that?
You got
the question.
Unplug the mic halfway through the anthem. That's probably not suggested.
For the Super Bowl, they're not gonna do that.
It's probably,
maybe it's unplugged before they even start, and that would prove it. But
we got the Reba odds. We have the Usher odds, which, by the way, what song is he going to open up with? It's going to be that. So the question is do we think is going to be? It's not going to. I feel like it's not going to come out right off the bat. There's been rumors that maybe they're trying to like weave in Taylor Swift in the halftime show. there's like odds on whether or not she's going to be a part of it. Do you like those?
Don't. No. She's literally flying back from performing like 3 straight days in Tokyo. She's not going to perform at the Super Bowl. It's not happening.
Canadian sports books have as guests Alicia Keys as a potential guest. Obviously, Ludacris and Lil Jon are probably going to be potential collaborations. For one song in particular.
They're gonna start with an upbeat, obviously.
Over under 3.5 collaborators.
It's too predictable.
I think
with Usher, I'd take the over, and that's a lot of collab.
Well,
but
even if you have 2 people additionally on that one song, you're already at you're at 2. You only need 2 more, and I feel like they're gonna go big. So I think I like the over there. How many times will Usher shout Vegas during his performance? Over under 2.5. So that's let's Las Vegas. How we doing?
Under.
Let's go Vegas.
Listen, everything's timed very specifically. You don't have time to constantly like. This isn't a concert where you could just have all the time in the world in between songs to be like, hey, let's have a chat, fireside chat. No, under 2.5, guaranteed.
Will Usher wear a hat at the beginning? No, I don't think so. I think that's a no. Sunglasses, that's a yes. He's gonna have sunglasses on, right?
At some point or at the beginning?
During his first song. I think he does.
Know. I haven't seen Usher perform even on the television screen for like a decade. I forgot he was a part of a halftime show already, Chris.
Yeah, he's done this before. He's been around. SDG says no. On I think it was the hat in the beginning. Will he debut a new song? No, he hasn't put together anything. No, you never debut a new song at the Super Bowl.
And frankly, the NFL won't allow you to do that. That's not what you're there for. To debut new music. The NFL is there to pull out the hits. Damn it.
I'm fringe betting that Usher will fall down at some point. I mean, he's pretty good on his feet. He's a dancer.
Is that bet out there? I don't think that exists.
Mom Murphy says Justin Bieber. That'd be. I mean, Biebs.
No, I would put the odds on Biebs showing up at like almost even odds. I think Biebs shows up.
Why Biebs? Why? Because
you don't know the correlation with Usher and Biebs?
What song do they share together?
No, it's not about songs. Like Usher's
Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift to appear in a commercial together is plus 800 eyes.
Don't bet that.
I don't think I would bet that.
They won't be in a commercial together. Usher is like one of the kind of like originals that kind of found Beeps.
So they got
discovered.
Okay. Well,
yeah, no, there's definitely not necessarily like song wise, but like there's a history there with Beeps.
Do you think Justin Bieber's arguably bigger than him? Like, you don't want someone that's going to show you up, right? You don't want someone on your show showing up, like, because then everyone's talking about Bieber, right?
That's not how that works, Chris.
Like,
Usher's not in charge of his show for the Super Bowl.
I mean, he's the headline.
The NFL is in charge of the show. So if Biebs comes in and is like, I'll make an appearance, no one's gonna give a damn what Usher feels like. No one's gonna give a damn.
Like
Usher's not in charge.
But
no one that plays the halftime show is in charge of their show.
What are we talking about? Everyone's like, what's going on? We're getting very close to TMZ type broadcasting. Hey, you know what? These are important things we need to discuss. By the way, I don't know about you guys. One of my favorite things on the planet Earth is during like halftime show or during like getting on Twitter and seeing all the initial reactions on things. It's pure entertainment. It's fantastic. We'll probably be sharing some of those memes and different things for sure. So it's gonna be hard to top though. I mean, I really am all a big fan of that. I really was a big fan of the last year's with Eminem, Dre, taking it back, Snoop. Let's see what else. Didn't the NFL post on X that Usher was missing, or was that just promoting? I didn't see that.
That would simply be a promotion, because if he was actually missing, why would the NFL put that out there?
Tay-Tay's
what do
in
they
the
have
building.
to gain?
I don't hate the Tay-Tay Taylor Swift. I think she's gonna go to enjoy the game. I probably wouldn't bet it, but I wouldn't disqualify it either. I'll leave that one alone. Also, number of songs over under 8.5 songs. I think the under is probably safe there.
I don't know, but there's gonna be like a lot of dancing where there's not music. I mean, it's like background music, but like not vocals going, right? When it's Usher. But I don't know. I don't know.
Rihanna. This says Rihanna put 15 songs into her 13 minutes.
Wow.
Which is impressive. I mean, that's a lot.
She was also pregnant, so not a lot of dancing.
True. Exactly. There's going to be some dance breaks. All right. So then, all right. What else do we have, Scotty? Do we have Gatorade on there too? Gatorade colors?
Oh, Gatorade colors. I can give you that. It starts with purple at plus 225.
Which is what it was last year.
Blue goes to plus 275. Yellow green gets combined at plus 450. Okay. Red pink gets combined at plus 450 as well. Orange is 5-1.
Orange.
And then they have like clear / water at 10-1 and no Gatorade bath at 20-1.
I feel like if I wanted to go for some value, orange is kind of like one of those middle of the road. It kind of fits the color scheme of everything with the Chiefs. It's kind of one of those is a popular color, orange, but there's no way they repeat purple again. There's no way. Who's the equipment guy? Does the equipment guy have a preference? If so, if purple kind of leads the way, that's the reason?
This one I can't talk about. I know the equipment guy, and I have inside info on the. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know, Chris. I don't know what they're gonna do Gatorade wise. And there's some controversy there, like yellow green. What if the green looks somewhat blue? Where do you go from there from a betting vantage point? What if it's not clear whether it's like green or blue? It's kind of in between. What do you do then?
It's like a teal, or if it's like a turquoise or something weird. I mean, obviously,
yeah, I don't know. They got a lot of flavors. There's a lot of flavors of Gatorade. Last time I checked. I don't know.
I think I'm gonna go orange. Orange.
Okay.
Purple. Taylor purple dress. Is that the purple? Is why purple's leading? Well, purple's leading.
Taylor's not wearing a dress, to be clear.
Well,
she's not gonna wear a dress.
Speaking of Taylor wearing something, let's talk about some of the. You want to get into TMZ? You want to get some TMZ going? We got some TMZ going. Let's dive into some of these wacky. These aren't official bets. These are just kind of like the props that are like people have made, and we're gonna go down some of these and say yes or no, Scotty. We're gonna do rapid fire. Will Swift be shown on camera during the game at least 6 times? I'm gonna go no. Well,
absolutely not.
I'm gonna go no. There's a lot of people talking about it.
But part of me wants to say yes, because every time Kelsey scores, she will be shown. So if she's shown that many times, that just means the Chiefs beat the shit out of the Niners.
That means they're crushing. That means they're doing their job. And she's gonna be shown after the game at some point. There's one I think maybe one before the game, one during a touchdown, one after the game, maybe during celebrations. But it's during the game. So after the game doesn't count. 6 is a lot. I don't think we get to 6. I think we get to some of these others before we get to that one. So I'm going to go no. Next up, will Swift make the Super Bowl on time for kickoff? Yes, 100%. That's a check.
100.
She will be there. Will Swift be wearing a Kelsey jersey?
No.
It
like
won't.
A straight out, like a flat out jersey? No.
I don't think it'll be a flat out jersey. I think it's going to be some sort of. She does the custom stuff, right? Doesn't she get like custom? Didn't she do the custom jacket recently?
She got a custom jacket, but that was from Kyle Juszczyk's wife, who they're playing in the Super Bowl. So I don't think she's making her something for the Super Bowl. Based off,
she could make her something.
They're playing against the husband. No, Kyle Juszczyk was asked about that, and he's like, "We're big Taylor fans. Probably not making anything for this game."
So no, she won't be wearing a jersey. She'll be wearing something else, Chiefs related, Kelsey related. I just don't think it's a jersey. Will Swift be shown singing along with the national anthem? No,
I hope not. I
don't think so. I would say no. I mean, that's kind of a weird. I mean, there's someone actually singing it,
right?
Why? Like,
don't. And then you're gonna show players and coaches. And,
yeah. There's just
stick to them and rebound.
Fans. Yeah, you show the fans. And so nope, she will not be shown. Will Kelsey make Swift's famous heart hands after scoring a touchdown? Not after scoring a touchdown. No, I don't believe that's a thing.
She's gonna be too excited to like do heart hands. She's gonna be going crazy.
She's gonna be going crazy, and Kelsey's gonna be fired up. So that's not gonna happen. All right, keep going down the list here. Will Swift be shown hugging Kelsey's mom during the game? Yes. If there's a touchdown, well, it depends who she's next to. But she typically sit next to Mama Kelsey. Right?
I would still say no to this one. I've never seen them like hug. She goes to like her friends in the suite, even when they're sitting next to each other. I've never seen them hug.
Okay, so that's a no?
Yeah, okay. That's a no for me.
It's no for me, dog. Will Swift be will Swift hug Brittany Mahomes after a Chiefs touchdown? Still,
if they're in the same suite, 100%.
You think so?
Yes.
Brittany wants that notoriety?
No. Brittany and they're good friends. They're good friends, Chris. People can hate on Brittany. By the way, she's going to be in like Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue coming up. Brittany Mahomes.
They're going to get I'm not going to say it.
Careful what you say there. Careful what you say.
I got to stop myself before I get into some weird territory. I think the real question.
No, they're friends. They're legit friends, and they will hug if the Chiefs score a touchdown. If they're in the same suite, I guess I don't know the breakdown of like how suites work in the Super Bowl. If this is any other game, they'd be in a suite together. So I imagine they will be for this one, and I would say absolutely yes to Mahomes, Brittany Mahomes, and Taylor Swift hugging after a touchdown.
Diaco says Mama Kelsey's not going to be in the same suite. She will be in the stands. They're not sitting together.
I don't know. I don't know. That could be true.
That could be true. I think the real question should be: will Jason Kelsey take his shirt off again? There's bets on that too, and I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's gonna have to be behaved.
I feel like Swift has a seat or a suite, and I'd be surprised if Mama Kelsey wasn't in that. And along with Jason Kelsey and others.
Will the broadcast mention a Swift lyric at least 3 times? That's a lot. 3 times is a lot. I say no.
3 times?
At least 3 times.
Yeah, three's a lot.
That's high.
You're not doing 3. Like, will they do 1 for sure? Like, I don't know. They'll probably say like, oh, when the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, it'd be like, oh, this trophy was tailor made or something like that for the Chiefs. But now 3 times, that seems high.
All right. Will the broadcaster or no? Will she be shown on halftime during Usher's Super Bowl halftime show? No. I got no.
No. I agree.
There's way too much production for them to be panning to the crowd. They will not.
There will be probably a camera on her, but it won't pan during the game. You'll see it on like social media after. But not during the performance.
Will Swift be in a Super Bowl commercial?
No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't have a.
No.
I could maybe. I don't know.
No.
I mean, you got to think with that one. You got to think she's very particular about her brand, who she pairs herself with, branding wise.
When have you seen? When have you seen her in a commercial? She doesn't do commercials.
It would be pretty shocking if all of a sudden it'd be pretty good publicity though. It would be smart. She's got a smart PR team. Will Kelsey quote a Swift song after the game concludes?
0%.
I don't think so. That's cheesy as shit. Like I don't
0%.
think he doesn't.
That's not his thing.
That's cheesy as shit. Will Kelsey and Swift kiss on the field after the game? If they win, yes.
Correct. So yes.
Will Swift be shown holding the Lombardi Trophy? No.
No.
That's not. This ain't Salt Bay after the World Cup. You know. This is it's not about some random celebrity coming down and like no. Unless Kelsey hands it to her, it's not her trophy. Unless something weird happens, it's not happening. Lombardi is scared.
Sacred.
Oh, sacred. The only thing that you have to give to someone other than me, and if you win, I'll gift one to someone. Sound good? What are you guys doing? What are you guys dealing in the chat now? Swift and Kelsey Pfizer. Book it. Don't do it. We're not going down that path.
I hope not.
All right, here we go. Last couple. Will the Super Bowl MVP mention Swift in his speech? No. Unless it's not, and even Kelsey would have to win that, and he still wouldn't probably say anything.
Still wouldn't.
Will Swift receive a Gatorade shower? No. She's not going to be near the field once.
That happens even before the game's over.
Yeah. Will Kelsey propose to Swift after the game, Scotty?
No. No.
I feel
not
like
his style.
Yeah. So there you go.
Chris, we had a random fight break out about basketball conferences between the Big 12 and ACC in our chat as we're going over all this.
We obviously have the attention of all of our fan base, all of our viewers talking about Taylor Swift. So, I mean, this is what we do. This is, we have a couple different things going on. It is what it is.
Friendly bet on if the ACC makes it to the final in March Madness. Whoever has the ACC in the final lost that bet. Sorry.
By the way, I reached out to we got one more round of the playoff contest, right? We still have to go out. We owe Milwaukee. Will DM you about. We owe Rec a jersey. We owe Milwaukee a jersey. And then I already sent one prize out to one of our winners for the regular season. Still waiting on a couple. So make sure you guys, we'll continue to DM you guys on all those deals. Close game, 1 minute left, 109-104. Ooh, should I turn that on real quick?
Like 109-104 Nuggets? It's now 112-104 according to ESPN. So we good.
We're good. We're golden. All right. We'll take it. I'll have to watch the recap of that later. But
big surprise, but Jamal Murray, best player on the court.
I mean, when he's playing at his best, there's not a lot of dudes better than him. Armando Bacot says the road Bacon, your boy Bacon, says the road goes through him.
Ask him how that went when he lost the Natty to the Jayhawks a 2 years ago. How is he still in like college basketball? The dude's been in the league or like college for like 47
Dude,
seasons.
college basketball kids play and stay there for like 10
With
years
the
now.
COVID rule and like transferring, you're allowed to just play in college for all your life if you want to, it seems like.
All right, guys. Well, there you go. That's our big Super Bowl preview. We will not be live for the Super Bowl, guys. So if you're trying to tune in, we're going to be doing our own thing. Everyone else is going to be doing their own thing. No one's going to come here to watch us. Everyone's watching the game. So, guys, we will see you back after this the following week to recap everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So we're going to be doing a lot around just recapping all of it. Man, I love you guys and your channel. Hey!
Thank you, Medic.
See? There we go. Appreciate that. No, I think you did mean the caps lock because you wanted to emphasize it. I felt the emphasis coming out and your channel.
Outside of like, Medic was like, I love you guys, but mostly your channel, which is fine. We're average at best, but
guys,
the channel's real good.
So first of all, I need you guys to throw in your best recipes in our Discord under the recipes section. I might be taking a couple and making some, and I'll take pictures and post them in the Discord if I choose one of your recipes. I want to give them a try. We'll see. So make sure you guys go and add your recipes to the recipe section for all your game day stuff. That's homework assignment number 1. Make sure you're putting your recipes in the Discord. Number 2, join our Discord and check out also our new website, ActionLabSports.com. Scotty's next article is going up tomorrow, breaking down more of the games in depth from a defensive coaching standpoint. So we already covered some of it. Go check out that article. I just posted my first article ever about the Boston Celtics and what my thoughts are on them. They made some moves at the trade deadline. We'll talk about that on the next show, too, a little bit on all the trade stuff. But join our Action Lab Sports community on actionlabsports.com. You will see some of our people, our community members posting out their stuff, too. It's really, really fun. We're super interactive, and we have a lot of talented people in our community, Scotty. It's pretty impressive.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So
yeah, a lot of smart people listen to us, Chris.
That's right. That's right. They get it from somewhere, you know? Also, guys, enjoy the Super Bowl. Live in the moment. Have fun with the people around you because that matters too. We are going to go ahead and wrap things up